Welcome to Thriving on Purpose, the YouTube channel. Hello, amazing people. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Thriving on Purpose YouTube channel, where we share stories of inspiration, hope, and determination from breast cancer survivors who are now thriving on the upside of breast cancer. I am your host, D. Manuel Cloud, and today I have with me the amazing Hellena Scott Okafor. Did I say the last name right? I didn't practice that one.
Oh, that's okay. It's Scott-Okafor, but yeah,
Okafor. We're gonna get it
yeah.
right. Today I have with me the amazing Hellena Scott Okafor.
Thank you.
Hey, so
Hello
Helena,
there.
Helena, first, thank you so much for
Mm.
taking the time to do this today, to share your story, to inspire other ladies who are on their breast cancer journey to know that there is hope, inspiration, and they can be determined post breast cancer to live a life that's even better than before. So, thank you for being here.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Dee. Thank you so much for having me.
So, we're going to jump right into it. One of the things I love to ask, because I believe that it helps other ladies relate to us, is the type of breast cancer you were diagnosed with and then the treatment plan that you chose. So, I'm going to turn the mic over to you.
All right. Well, I was diagnosed with triple negative breast cancer and I was stage 2. And I had a very dear friend, one of my best friends, diagnosed with a very aggressive breast cancer when she was 35, and she actually died at the age of 39. And she was awesome, um, a wonderful mentor, friend, and as it were, I did just like she did. I made different choices, but the thing that she did was to fight it like a warrior. And so that's exactly what I did with that example before me. Now, I didn't do it as classy as my friend Lynn did, but I certainly fought. So I elected to go aggressive with my treatments. I had bilateral mastectomies, and no, I only had cancer on one side. And it's funny, it was a very fast growing lump in between mammograms. And the bilateral thing was because they would have never been able to create symmetry anyway. So I just went ahead and said, you know what, let's just be done. I'm okay. I already had 4 children, 4 beautiful, wonderful, healthy children. And so I was okay with that decision. And they did do an axillary node dissection. And so that too was done. I had chemo. I did TAC, adriamycin, Taxotere, and Cytoxin every 3 weeks. And I chose that because of the scheduling. And my oncologist and I debated because I wanted the most aggressive possible. Let's go get this sucker. And she told me, and I thought it was dose dense, but then we looked at the actual dosages and how they hadn't really compared them side by side at that time. And so that's what we did, which allowed me to continue to work. It allowed me to try to continue to do the kids' activities because my thing was, especially after having watched Lynn's example, I wanted to make sure that it didn't steal one more minute from my life than it could have. And so that's what I did. That's what I
I
did.
love that. So you touched on a few things that I want to ask you some more questions about.
Hmm.
I know that triple negative breast cancer is one of the more aggressive forms of breast
Hmm.
cancer. So I love that you were like, let's go get this sucker, right? And the determination that you had and the beautiful example you had by Lynn to really fight for your life, right? To not succumb to this thing. So tell me, Helena, how old were you at diagnosis?
Now, see, this is where Dia just shows you how much I like you. And the rapport that we have, because I'm going to fully disclose, I was age 44. It was 5 years after Lynn died. I was 44 when I was diagnosed, and I really thought that Lynn had been my breast cancer experience. But I am now a 15-year survivor, which means that I am telling my age. Yes, I'm putting it out there. I'm
Girl,
putting it out there because it is a blessing. Yeah.
it is a blessing, but not only that, you look freaking amazing.
Well, I am. I am a miracle. Thank you, Lord. Amen.
You look
Yeah.
amazing. My mama used to say, "Thank God I don't look like what I've been through." Right? So,
Amen. Right? Yeah.
girl, you just gave me chills.
Yeah.
My God, I love that.
Now,
So, how
please, y'all,
old
don't
were
do
your?
the math, though.
Okay, I'm not gonna do the math.
Don't do the math. Yeah.
So, how old were your children when you were diagnosed?
My children were 7 or 8, and then that means 10 or 11. One was, I think she was a freshman in high school. One was in her freshman or sophomore year in college.
Okay, so you
Yeah.
had some small babies, and like you
Oh,
said,
yeah.
the
Yeah.
treatment that you chose allowed you to still be there for your baby. So I love that because
Yeah.
that's important, right? We want some sense of normalcy while we're going through this thing, and especially for the babies, we want to try to keep it as normal for them as possible.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that. I love
Now,
that.
mind you, I wasn't, yeah. Yeah. It was interesting to say the least.
No, go ahead. You were
But
going to
we,
say something.
no, I was just going to say, but we did what we could and the best we could. And yeah, but
And many
yeah,
times that's all we got. All we can do is the best we can. So I
at
love
any
that.
given moment. Yeah. And the other thing is very often people don't consider the effects of the diagnosis on the family members, whether it be the spouse, whether it be the children. And yeah, mine are
I
awesome.
was on blackdoctor.org last Wednesday, and one of the husbands referred to it as co-survivors. And I love that,
Yes.
right? Because they're
I,
co-survivors. They're going through this thing with us.
yes.
So I
Yes.
get that. I dig it. I dig it. So my next question for you is what it means to you to thrive post
Mm.
breast cancer, like what it means to you to live fully and really go after all the things that you want post breast cancer.
Wow. I want to say it means almost everything. It really does. There were so many complications that I had as a result of treatment that even after treatment, I still had to fight to live a life that had the quality of life that I wanted. And I had to negotiate and try to find out what was going on as far as the healing, the recovery, that whole transition shock, that period of time where you go from doctor's appointment to then absolutely nothing for 3 months, then 6 months. And you're like, am I okay? Is it okay? And you're going, I don't quite feel like myself again. And for some people, that persists. So, thriving to me, being able to live fully to me means doing those things that you enjoy doing, those things that bring you joy, that fulfill you. And it's the thing that you thought about when you were sitting in that, it's the life that you thought about when you were sitting in that chemo chair, what you dreamed of doing. It is those things you were afraid you would miss when you were given the diagnosis and being able to be fully in it. Now, I had some issues with persistent fatigue after treatment. Um, and I had to figure it out because all my lab work was normal. My doctors were like, well, you look good to me. Yeah. And your family members are like, oh, you're still alive. Be thankful. And you're like, yeah, but. And so those things I figured out. And I wound up getting certified in lifestyle medicine. My specialty is physical medicine and rehabilitation. And I was used to cancer rehab, but it was the inpatient, frail. almost going to hospice cancer rehab that I had done and working people back from there, whereas I was functioning. And so being able to find those lifestyle adjustments that made me feel good, that gave me the energy that I needed so I could live that full active life that I had dreamed of.
I
Yeah.
love that. I love that you shared. It's the life that you envision for yourself while you're sitting in chemo treatment, right?
Yeah.
When you're like, when this is all said and done, I want,
Yes.
right? When this is all
Mhm.
said and done, I will. I love
Yes.
that, Helena. That's profound and powerful. Thank you for sharing that. So tell me, how is your you one of the things you said you got certified in? Tell us the type of medicine again.
Lifestyle medicine.
Lifestyle medicine, and what does that look like?
Lifestyle medicine is actually the foundation. It's what we should be doing before we as physicians prescribe medications. It's the things that we do to help you adjust the things that you're doing so that you can be in your best health. And it also helps for those pharmacologic agents or whatever it is that we give you as treatment. It helps them work better. So it's dealing with the nutrition. I mean, basics. Food is medicine. It's dealing with your physical activity. It is dealing with your sleep. We take, especially those of us who are in the medical field, actually, just busy women, period. We take that for granted and we
Mhm.
think, oh, it's not going to really catch up. I can just keep going. But it does. That's our restorative period. So it's the sleep, it's the stress management, it's making sure that we don't further pollute our bodies with toxins. And that includes everything from various cleaning agents to alcohol and tobacco. I mean, we got to get real about it. They're carcinogens. And so it deals with all of those things so that we can put ourselves in the best position to
I
take
love,
care of ourselves.
I love it. So dealing with all of the, to your point, lifestyle choices that we make so that we can be in
Yes.
optimal health, so that when we do get the calls that nobody wants to get, right, we're already in optimal health. And
Yeah.
if you've already gotten the call, to nurture you back to optimal health. I
You're
love it.
right. You're
I
right.
love
And it's
that.
funny, there are a lot of people who prey upon us as survivors as to, oh, do this, take that, so that you don't get a recurrence. And nobody can truly promise that. And it's funny, I had a client who contacted me and she had had a recurrence. And I was devastated because, we are stacking the odds in our favor. But one of the things that she said to me that made me feel it just confirmed that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing is that she said, hold on. If I hadn't done all the things I did with you, I wouldn't be in the fighting shape I'm in now. I think I'm better prepared this time than I was with my first diagnosis. And she said, and no matter what, I have enjoyed my life. I am living my life, which she said she really hadn't been fully capitalizing upon before. Because, yeah, so that just to me, it floored me. And this is why I do what I do. That to me is also thriving, right? Fulfilling my spirit and being of use to others. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. So, one of the things you mentioned is negotiating your way back to bring me into remembrance, Helena. You mentioned negotiating, and I don't know if you were referring to negotiating with your healthcare providers or what that
Yeah.
entailed.
Yeah. Um, I have long done a healthy Christian series at our church. And maybe because I'm physical medicine and rehabilitation trained, we work in interdisciplinary teams. But I feel that your healthcare team should be a team, and you're the coach. You are the primary player and member. And so, therefore, you should be able to have communication with your healthcare providers. You should be able to ask the tough questions, ask any question for that matter, and feel like you're getting a well thought out, careful, considerate, customized to you answer, so
Yeah,
that you can then negotiate the fields, just like you said before. Which treatment did I choose? Which treatment path? It's up to me.
absolutely.
Hmm.
Absolutely. I love that. And I love that what you're talking about is self-advocating. And I think that a lot of times we don't self-advocate because we think they're the doctors. I don't want to challenge them. They know more than I do, but nobody's going to know our bodies the way we do, right? And
Say
so
it.
to your point, when you talked about still feeling chronic fatigue after treatment was over,
Mhm.
um, how how we manage that. And then having your doctor say, well, you look fine, and your family members say, well, you're
Mhm.
alive, be thankful for that. However, to your point, and why I do what I do is I notice the gap from
Yes.
when treatment is over to where we do start to feel some sense of normalcy. I believe, dare I say, not anything like before, but better than before, right? With your work in lifestyle medicine, my work in thriving beyond breast cancer, I feel like we can live lives that are better than ever before, not going back to the norm, right? Or what was safe or
Yeah.
what felt comfortable, but really stretching ourselves to have optimal health, right? And
Yeah.
that looks like making better choices for ourselves. And sometimes that's a stretch because listen, I'm very honest with everybody. I love fried chicken, but I know I can't sit up and eat fried chicken every day, all day, right?
Right.
So I make that's a treat for me. And it's not
Yeah.
something that it's just part of my normal nutrition plan.
It's
So go ahead.
I was going to say, I really appreciate your saying that, because I see patients in the cancer rehab setting as they're going through treatment, as well as clients on the outside, after treatment. And it's funny that I coach, but it's funny because the patients going through treatment are told, oh, you should avoid sugar, you should be vegan, you should be keto, you should be, and they're so hard on themselves when they are not able to keep up those really strict, stringent lifestyles. And the truth of the matter is, when they stop doing those things because they feel like they're not able to and they feel like failures, then they don't do anything, and we miss out on the opportunity for them to make better choices. And so part of what I do is to help people make strategic choices based upon what where they are and what their specific situation is. So I really appreciate your saying you can find ways to work in the things that you like. It's just about being good to yourself overall. Yeah.
Absolutely. And then to your point, when we feel like failures because we're not able to uphold some stringent lifestyle, then the guilt kicks in, right?
Yeah.
And nobody wants to be just walking around in shame and guilt,
Yes.
right? Because I always tell people those are low vibrating emotions that, according to
Yeah.
Louise Hay, can cause sickness and disease in the body.
Most
So, really
definitely.
learning to love ourselves, flaws and all, right?
Yeah.
And not putting so much pressure on ourselves to live up to somebody else's standards. But to your point, I love what you shared, Helena, about meeting them where they are and making strategic lifestyle changes and choices and doing it, setting attainable goals so that
Yes.
we're not walking in saying, okay, from this point forward, you can't have any of these things. But
Exactly.
one of the things I share with my clients is the way I do it. I'm 5 on, 2 off. So 5 days of the week, I'm making sure that I'm eating clean, I'm eating healthy, and I'm reducing my sugar, I'm reducing fried foods, I'm eating more. And I always talk about how it's not about taking out all of the bad stuff, but instead including more of the good stuff, more of the antioxidant foods, right?
Yes.
And then on the weekends, I allow myself to be treated, like, oh, let's have some ice cream. Ooh, let's have some bread.
Yeah.
Right?
It's funny, we do the anti-diet diet program, because you don't have to. As you said, add the good things. Add the good things. And when you're adding enough of the good things, as much as you should, as is recommended, like the 5 to 9 veggies, you're not going to be able to fit in quite as much ice cream and all the rest of it. So it's okay.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
see, we're speaking the same language. I love that for us, and
Yeah.
I love that for anybody who's listening. So tell us, Helena, what are you up to now?
Well, as a matter of fact, I am still coaching and seeing patients. And so I see patients in my day job and I'm coaching on my own. And I am helping, as I said, survivors with post treatment fatigue, which has persisted, reclaim their energy so that they can live active, vibrant, purposeful lives. And I am trying to educate and equip so that they can again make strategic choices that affirm them, their health, and their lives. And as a matter of fact, I got additional training in NLP and hypnotherapy so that we can address some of those limiting beliefs that impact your consistency. Because too often we are listening to other people's recordings in our head. Yeah.
Other people's recording, and then let us
Mhm.
not negate the negative self-talk,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
That we
Hmm.
do to ourselves, the shoulds. I should do this,
Yes.
I should do that,
Yeah.
I should do. And I always say, don't should all over yourself, right? Like,
Yes. Yeah.
don't should all over yourself, but
Yeah.
instead be gracious with yourself. Treat yourself like
Yes.
you're someone you love. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
t- tell us how any of our listeners can get in touch with you if they're looking to up level their lifestyle so that they can be in optimal health.
Oh, sure. It's easy. You can find me on Instagram at Dr. Helena, Dr. Hellena. Apparently, it was a rough delivery. Um, and I have a Facebook page, also Dr. Helena, Hellena. And on my Instagram, there's a link that talks about the 5 things that you can discuss with your physician if you have persistent fatigue. And also, you can find me, my program. You can find all of that there.
I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. I love it. I love it. So I just want to acknowledge you. I want to acknowledge you for the work that you're doing in the world to help breast cancer survivors and others reach their optimal health so that if they do get a phone call that nobody wants to get, they are in the best shape of their lives to be able to. It's, I like it. I liken it to running a race,
Mm,
right? And what you're doing is you're giving them a head start on their journey. And
yeah.
so thank you for the work that you're doing in the world. And it's so needed. So please check out Dr. Helena on Instagram. Look her up on her Facebook page. And Dr. Helena is spelled Hellena. So just in
Yes.
case, and I'll see if I can drop some links to her Facebook and Instagram down in the comments to make that easy, make her easier to find. But thank you all for tuning in. I hope that, and I pray, I hope and I pray, I don't like hoping. I pray, I pray that some of the information that we shared here today has helped someone that's listening in. If you'd like to hear more stories of thriving beyond breast cancer, please like, comment, and subscribe below. And the series will just keep going because after breast cancer, we are about making the rest of our lives the best of our
Yes.
lives, right? So thank y'all for tuning in. Do you have any parting words for us, Dr. Helena? You wanted to say
Yes.
Helena.
Yeah, I do. I just want to thank you, Dee, for having this platform. There are 18.1 million survivors, cancer survivors in the nation right now. And yeah, we need to know that there is life and purpose after.
Like life and most importantly, purpose.
Yes.
When we think about your beautiful friend Lynn who passed away, you know, and I know some individuals who didn't survive their breast cancer journey. And so the question becomes for us, okay, why am I here? So I have a duty, I believe, to make the rest of
Yes,
my life the best of my life. And then to also reach back and help other sisters make the rest of their lives the best of their lives as well.
indeed. Indeed.
Mhm. Thank y'all for tuning in. I love you. Ain't nothing you can do about it. See y'all next time. Until then, mwah, go out there and thrive on purpose. Bye for now. For more inspirational stories like these, please like, comment, and subscribe. And remember to turn on your notifications. Thank you for rocking with us. And remember, we're thriving on purpose.